What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay. I'm your host. It is Friday. That means it's time for Cars on the Move, where we go live noon Central Time for 30 minutes with my co-host, Ty Thompson, Cars on the Move. And what we're doing is we're connecting dealers, auctions, carriers, tech, retail, wholesale, logistics. And we do this because there are many verticals in automotive, and we have roots in transportation, but we love to talk to the full automotive ecosystem about logistics, what's going on in technology, inventory acquisition, auctions, dealerships. So please do feel free to like and share the link, this channel. Please do jump into the live chat. We already got the question, what time is the show? Noon Central Time. Hey, John Larrick is here. You know, you might see, I think we're going to see a few people in here that have never been live on Cars on the Move before. We got a little bit of press from CU Repossession, CU Collectors, still getting to know Andrew and the group, and so we're excited to have that coverage, so we'll show more of that. But first, what we need to do before we go any further, please do help me wish a warm welcome to my co-host, Ty Thompson. Oh, here's the graphics. Ty, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah, hey, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm pretty excited about today's show.
I'm always excited about today's show because it's educational, right? And I mean, we're like you just said, our roots are in transportation. Our objective is to try to have an educational program that talks a lot about things you might need if you want to be in transport, things you might want to look at, listen to, pay attention to. So today I'm pretty excited because we have Harding Brooks. Harding Brooks is insurance, right? One of the things that you have to have when you own a transport company is insurance, right?
Absolutely.
And I think we have another special guest too, right? Darcy?
So yeah, we're lucky. We have a twofer. We have, let me get those graphics off the screen. We have Indiana Recovery Services, Darcy Case, and we have Harding Brooks, Renee Lowe, both of whom I ran into at Used Car Week. Okay. And Renee started it. Renee said, "Hello, I've seen your show. I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Yeah, let's talk."
Let's talk.
And so that led to this moment, that's how it works. That's why we love trade shows.
True.
Right?
Yes,
I mean, it's amazing. And that's just one example of the networking and the collaboration that happens. So let's do this.
Wait. Let's do this. This is part of the rest of the story. We were both at the same conference, and I didn't talk to Renee or Darcy. So that shows you the power of networking, right? You can go to a conference, Jay can meet people, Ty can meet people, and look where we end up back at ATI.
That's a really good point. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. You met and connected with the folks that I didn't meet.
Oh yeah, plenty. Mm-hmm.
How dare you?
That's what we do. Hey,
that's what actually. Okay, pro tip: if you're with a team, divide and conquer.
Yeah.
When you see a gaggle, point it out. When you see a gaggle of like 6 to 8 employees all moving together through the trade show, don't do that.
Throw cannonball in it.
Yeah, dude. Who's gonna talk to a gaggle of 6 to 8 employees roaming in a group?
No, it's scary. It's intimidating. Just go out in the hallways, drink some coffee. Oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Breathe.
Go get some,
water.
Yeah, get a Danish. Try the lemonade.
Well, that's exciting because
it is.
I'm sure I've seen Harding Brooks at conferences, right? Exhibit, maybe?
Probably. Well, that's another thing. We see booths, but we don't know the people, do we?
Right.
Which is another purpose of meeting people and talking to them.
Could be also interesting. Maybe we'll find out. I don't know, but maybe Renee's seen me running around a conference with my little thing.
Probably. Like, oh my God, that's the guy with the thing. That's
let's
hilarious.
bring him on. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. Camera one. And thank you guys jumping in the live chat. Justin, National Car Shipping Inc. is here. Silver Mint is here. Danny B. Leon Scroggins. Thank you guys so much. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. For your viewing pleasure, first time on ATI, we have Renee Lowe and Darcy Case joining right now via Zoom. And there you go. Cannonball just taught you guys right in. Darcy, Renee, can you see us and hear us okay?
Yep. See you fine. Hear you good.
Perfect. We'll kick off with you, Renee. Please tell us more about you, Harding Brooks, and what we're doing.
So I am the training and education coordinator for Harding Brooks Insurance Agency. Harding Brooks Insurance Agency insures the majority of the repossessors in the United States, including Indiana Recovery. And we work very closely with the state and national repossession associations, with IATA. We have a nationwide auto haulers program. We insure towers and other transportation risk. If you're not insured with us, pick up the phone and call us, and we can change that, because we'd love to have you as one of our insureds. Before I joined the Harding Brooks team, I spent almost 20 years on the insurance carrier side. And when I was on the carrier side, I was underwriting transportation risk. Frequently, I would see these loss trends develop or these patterns, and I'd be like, oh, I really wish I could talk to the insureds about that. When I got to Harding Brooks, Mike gave me this platform so I can share loss trends, different information, like Jay, like you shared Tuesday night, one of my posts, different training topics, different safety topics. If you ever want to check out the information we share, you can look at Harding Brooks Repo on Facebook. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Renee, LOW. And you email me, and Jay's got my contact information. He'll share in a little bit. And I'll be glad to add you to our email database. And I'll email you a couple times a week with a driver training tip or a safety topic to discuss with your drivers.
Lots to think about there. Thank you, Renee. Darcy, will you please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you and Indiana Recovery Services?
Hi, I'm Darcy Case. My husband Todd and I own Indiana Recovery Services. We purchased an existing business in 2012. So we're going into our 11th year now. We have taken it from a 2-truck company to, I don't know, something like 38 trucks. We have a full transport division now. It's something we started during COVID, and it's been very successful for both us and our clients. And that's what we do. We cover the entire state of Indiana.
Wow. 38 awesome. Trucks? Like what kind of trucks? That's a lot.
We have, I think, 3 4-car haulers. We just bought a semi and a 7-car trailer. We have several rollbacks and auto loaders, cars, vans.
That's a lot.
Like that. Yeah.
I'm going to have to come up and touch some of you guys' equipment.
Come visit us. We'd love to show you around.
We might talk about it sometime. So Renee, you said something I didn't catch. You said you're the education?
Mm-hmm.
And that's somewhat new. Like you've been in it forever. But this
Harding Brooks added my little unit in June of 2019.
2019. And it's called what again? Say it.
I'm the training and education unit.
Training and education unit for
Harding Brooks.
Harding Brook, but you can do companies. So you do repo companies. I heard you say transport companies.
Yes, we insure repossessors, transporters, towers, anything on wheels we pretty much can insure.
You can insure it, but now let's talk about education, because that's what Jay and I like to do. We like to educate people, right? So for example, we're having this conversation because this morning I was thinking, okay, if I'm a new guy, so I get all the new calls because of our platform. People say, I want to be a car hauler. Call Ty, 417-483-2764. So I get a phone call. Hey, I saw you on YouTube. I want to be a car hauler. What do I need to do? Okay. Some people say first part is maybe insurance or authority or equipment. Or my question is always, how are you going to pay for all this stuff, right? So the education starts, in my opinion. And one of the things I was talking about, and excited to hear where you're at, because I didn't know this, but I've always told these guys, what are you going to do? Are you going to go build a business, gaining your own client base? People call you directly, or are you going to be on a load board? And like, well, why does that even matter? Well, because if you're going to be on the load board, you're going to have a different kind of insurance. In my opinion, I could be wrong. That's why you're the expert. We'll let you talk about it. But I would think you would need a different level of insurance because you're going to be touching different kinds of cars. Is that fair?
So we tailor to everybody's individual needs. And like Darcy's, started out just like as a repossession company. Now she's doing auto transport. So we tailor your insurance product to what what business you're doing or what business you adapt into. I'm not sure if that answered your question, but.
Well, when we start getting into cargo, so for example, a guy who wants to get in, I get the call, he's already in. I say, okay, well, who's your customer? He says, well, I just use the load board and a dispatcher. Well, on a load board, I don't know if you're familiar with load boards, but on load boards, you could get anywhere from a brand new 2022 BMW to a smashed Suzuki Rodeo or whatever they call it. You know, you're going to be touching a lot of different kinds of cars, and these newer cars, they require, it's been a minute since I've been in the insurance, but I'm assuming they require a different kind of cargo coverage.
Right, correct. You would be correct. So we would have to get you the coverage that is going to be applicable for whatever you are carrying. Right. But if you're carrying a new car and you need the total insurance to value, or if you're, carrying wrecked cars, you don't need so we would have to figure out what your needs are and match that with our coverages.
And that's where we can send people to Renee. Call Renee, right? Renee understands the auto transport business, the repo business. And if Renee's going to ask you a couple of little questions, and Renee's going to make a product that works for you.
So you can send it to me, or you can send it to Mike, John, or Andrea, and because they're our agents and they're the ones that are the experts in writing the coverages.
Okay, got it. Now, when did you and Darcy meet?
Oh, I don't know, years ago. Yeah.
We've been with Harding Brooks probably about 8 years now, 8 or 9 years.
And
years. I don't know, something like that.
And I was probably the underwriter for Darcy's account when I was on the carrier side. I was the program manager, so I touched her account. But we probably actually met because I always went to the trade shows even before I went to Harding Brooks. So,
which trade shows did you go to? The repo trade shows?
Yes, NARS, ARA
NARS.
convention, been to Allied, also to the Florida Tow Show. I used to do that when I was in the carrier side.
Wow.
So Strata.
Every week.
IATA meetings.
Okay. So we're going to have to start getting into some of those, Jay. I hope you're making notes.
So I'm making notes. Yeah, I'm going to jump in. I've been on the sideline. So this is cool. So Ty, you said it before. Ty, you and Renee have never talked before this moment.
No.
Is that right? So, and he's asking some good, tough questions live, because that is what it's like when, right? I'm sure when you talk to somebody new, or insurance is a sensitive subject, and it's so important that you probably just get pretty straightforward questions. You probably get people walking up to the booth like, why is it so expensive, or whatever, right? And so, being prepared for all that is good. And Renee, I think you've been doing this a long time. You seem really ready to answer questions.
I've been doing this a long time.
So, and so I appreciate, number one, I appreciate you taking the time to join us here live today. And hopefully this is the beginning of, what does they say at the end of that movie? Hopefully this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because we know Ty talks to, and this is what he's getting at earlier, he talks to car haulers almost every day. Like, right out of the box. I got an email. Ty, did you get my email? A guy said, what did he say? I got a Dodge Ram 3500. I need help now. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I assumed he was looking for a dispatcher, but since I really didn't know, I just sent him to you. You probably, in the top 3 things you're going to need to know more about, insurance is probably up there, right? Equipment, business plan, and insurance. Maybe authority, maybe medical card, other things like that. But, and John Larrick in the live chat, he says Harding Brooks is his insurance agency.
Yes, we are.
Well, shoot.
Hey, John. Good job.
This is easier than I thought. We don't even have to work. Let's just kick back and have everybody shout out, that's my insurance company.
Harding Brooks.
But,
okay.
Yeah, Ty, take it away.
Well, I want to go back to Darcy. So Darcy's bought a company, existing company. I think she said 2 trucks. Now we're up to 38. So we started out repo, which I'm assuming would be quick, snatch, tow truck with a wheel lift, right? Or a truck with a sneaker. Is that what you call it? Yeah. So start out with 2.
Yeah.
Now I get excited when I hear transport. You've got transports. 3, 4 cars?
I double taked when you said all that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We so when COVID hit, they stopped repossessions in Indiana. We only had about a 6-month time or 6-week time frame where we couldn't repossess, and we had all these cars on our lot. So we thought, well, why not make some income moving these cars to auction? Why somebody else coming onto our lot? When we could just be cleaning our lot off during this time. So that's kind of where the idea came from. We did a few, we got our lot cleaned up, and we saw that it was working. For the repossessor, we have transporters come onto our lot. They sometimes don't have the right equipment to load a non-running vehicle. Their equipment is really broken down. They don't have the correct insurance. We've had wedge trailers swing around and hit a parked car in our lot. And so, we took all that into consideration and said, chain of custody. We are touching this vehicle from the time of repossession to the time it hits the auction. So if there's a complaint, it's us or the auction. It mitigates that middleman, and we can keep our lot clean. We know we have the right insurance. We have the right equipment. We are, our clients require us to have a certain amount of training. So now we have that too. So we have everything to touch this vehicle from start to finish. And we have found we can keep our lot cleaner. The office isn't having people coming in and out, which was a big concern during COVID too, was having people coming in. So it just ended up working and it grew.
Good. So the next question.
We have 4 lots. 4 locations lots? That we travel to between.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question I've got, between those 4 lots in radius terms, like how far away, you go to 1 auction only or 3 auctions or?
Every auction in the state of Indiana, and Indiana has a lot of auctions. So, we move them. Sometimes they get staged, they come from one lot, stage at another before they go to an Indianapolis auction. Or, we might go from the northern part of Indiana all the way down to Manheim, Louisville, which is Clarksville, Indiana, which is, by the Kentucky border. So we travel some really big distances. But, we're going there almost on a daily basis to all the auctions. And it just logistically works for us.
Yeah. Well, the reason I like to ask that question and talk about that is because then it starts shifting into what I know really well, which is auctions and dealers, right? So you take a big load down, you drop it off. What are you doing on the way back?
So since we have various locations, they may, after they drop at an auction, they may go to the next office, pick up cars that have to come to an Indianapolis area auction. And so they try to stay loaded both ways. Obviously, it's not cost effective to not be. Our guys are out repoing, so the 4-car haulers may stop and meet up with a repossession agent, grab his car that he just picked up so that he can continue repossessing and not have to stop and bring that car back to the lot. So it's a constant, our manager of that department, she is constantly watching our boards, seeing where our trucks are. Can someone go over here and meet this repossessor on his way back? So it's a constant moving, and it's a lot of movement.
Yeah. No, you got it. Yeah, the logistics. I get excited because I think what you just described is great for people with ADD, ADHD, and OCD, right?
I don't know that I could figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. It's a lot.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. Well, what we should do is maybe not right now, but I would love to talk to whoever you just described in the back that's taking care of this.
Yeah.
Because there's so much opportunity for you guys that maybe maybe you don't know, but to do what you're doing is beautiful. And from what I know, my background, it's great, great opportunity.
We got this great new 7 car, so we got to put that baby to use.
I can show you how to keep that baby full. So I would love to talk to more. What was the lady's name?
Well, it's Jenny, but Todd, my husband, Todd. He kind of is the mastermind behind this whole transport division. So I got to get him
to talk to Todd.
Okay, shout out. Yeah, talk to Todd.
Todd. That
is an applause for Todd, because you do have a good plan going. Marshalling yard, lots of other. I mean, you're like the Indiana hub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
where
we got
repo
a lot
meets
of
car
friends
hauling.
too.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that is a
That's
great
great.
area. Yeah. Wow.
Awesome. So then, okay, what else you got, Renee?
So, well, Jay had kind of asked me to talk a little bit about mitigating risk. Should I jump
That's
into
right.
that right now?
Yeah.
Because
Let's do
Darcy
that.
kind of
Oh,
brought
I
that up a
know.
little bit.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mitigating
Um,
risk.
So, as she said, for a repossessor, you're never quite sure about the auto hauler that's going to be coming on your lot. So, if you are picking up cars from a repossessor who is insured with Harding Brooks, they may have asked you to sign what is called a side entry agreement. They may have asked you to name them as an additional insured, and they may have asked you for a certificate of insurance. If they've asked you for these things, you may be thinking, nobody else ever asked me for this, and they're just trying to be difficult, they're trying to be hard to get along with, but they're absolutely not. As Darcy said, there was, parked cars getting hit in her lot. So what they're trying to do is to mitigate their losses, because they need to make sure that their losses are mitigated, and their insurance company have required that they get these side entry agreements, that they get the additional insured status, and they have the certificates of insurance. Because insurance companies also want to mitigate their risks. They want their exposures to be as small as possible. Because insurance is all about the transfer of risk. And Jay, you can kind of go back to like slide 2. So a side entry agreement is nothing but a contract between an auto hauler and the repossessor. The repossessor is saying, Mr. Auto Hauler, you signed this agreement. I'm giving you permission to come on my lot to take the vehicles. In my side entry agreement, I'm telling you the insurance requirements that I have for any vendor to come onto my lot. And you are agreeing to indemnify me in the event a claim happens. Just like auto hauler could back into a repossessor's truck, damage the gate, or a driver could trip getting out of auto hauler and get hurt. So all of those claims are the responsibility of the auto hauler. So the repossessor wants to be sure that you've got insurance to take care of that. And as the auto hauler, you want to mitigate your risk by transferring it to an insurance company, because you want the insurance company to pick up those damages if they occur. Whenever a repossessor asks you for a certificate of insurance, you are not granting them coverage. A certificate of insurance is just verifying that you do have coverage in place. If you don't have coverage in place, then you are going to end up having to pay out of pocket. So by having the proper insurance coverages in place, you're transferring your risk to the insurance company and mitigating your risk. So that's an excellent way to mitigate risk on both the repossessor side and on the auto hauler side. Another way to mitigate risk, Jay, Tuesday night, you guys talked about cameras, and you guys had an excellent program on cameras. Cameras are an awesome way to mitigate risk, but you've got to look at the video footage from the dash cams, and you've got to take action on it. Sometimes people get nervous because they think, well, I don't want the insurance company to see that my driver is at fault. Absolutely, you do want the insurance company to know if your driver is at fault. It is so much better on day one for an insurance company to know, yes, the driver was at fault, than at day 100. The longer that claim plays out, the higher the payout's going to be, and that's not good for you. Dash cams definitely mitigate your risk, but you've also got to use the information that dash cams and telematics provide. If you've got dash cams or if you've got telematics and you're not looking at that data and you're not taking action on it, then you are not mitigating your risk. You're actually increasing your exposure, because if your driver's involved in an accident and they get an attorney, the attorney gets a hold of the fact that you're not looking at your dash cam footage and not taking any action on it, then they're going to use that against you. And I know, on the Tuesday night, everybody was talking about, my drivers don't want me looking at them, don't me watching them. You got to know what your drivers are doing in the truck. I mean, I know everybody thinks they're perfect in the truck, but if you go to our Facebook page, you can see 2 examples where we had owners who thought their drivers were doing great in their trucks. We had one, there's a video of him, where he is on a video call for several minutes until he stops when he runs into the back of a car that stalled in the middle of the road at 2:00 in the morning. Not a pretty claim. Not a pretty claim at all. We have another one. We have all of our insurers have seatbelt policies. All their employees are supposed to, wear their seatbelts. They sign saying, yep, I'm going to wear my seatbelt. You assume your drivers are doing what you told them to do. We got a video of a driver. She got hit. She really didn't do anything wrong, but she flew across the cab of her truck because she didn't have on her seatbelt. Luckily, she didn't get hurt, but that could have been a huge work comp claim on top of the auto claim. So cameras are really wingmen, and they're there to protect you. And I mean, so that is a huge way to mitigate your risk. Jay, I know you said, you like to sing when you drive and you don't, think people want to be, listening to you sing. But the statistics show, this is a free tidbit here, that when you sing, you're reducing driver distractions. So if your drivers are singing, that is awesome because they're not as going to be as distracted when they're singing. So I'm all for singing, so sing loud.
Renee, I couldn't even take notes because I was glued to everything you just said.
Well, good.
Yeah. And
That was good, Renee.
It really was good. One of the things that I was thinking was, see, that aren't you the kind of insurance agent representative that everybody would want that's going to tell you this stuff so you don't just find out later? You're not just a number. You're not a number. An advisor.
We love to be your advisor, and I share all kind of tidbits. And like anytime we see an industry trend, we put it out there. I'm constantly reminding people. Darcy can tell you she gets emails from me a couple times a week, things that she can talk to her drivers about. John Larrick, I know we've had conversations, about drivers and stuff. We're here to be a partner. We want to be more than just your insurance agent that you talk to once a year. We want to be here to help you grow and to help you accomplish your goals and keep your driver safe.
I can attest to that. I mean, they've helped us grow, and cameras have saved us on numerous occasions. So they're worth the cost.
But you got to use the data. It's important to use that
data. I think you called it telematics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you use that in context of data, I believe. Is that right?
Right.
Telematics. So
Fleet
maybe
data.
Yeah. Maybe for somebody that might be watching or listening, explain telematics. Because on the video the other night, we had Dean, I believe it was Dean, talking about IMU. Did you catch that part?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's IMU. Do you remember what IMU was?
I don't remember what it was, but I do remember. I remember you asking what it was.
In motion something. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the U?
Well, it's something to do with you take off and you stop, heavy braking, hard braking. So help us understand when you use the word telematics. What are you talking about?
So, you'll have to kind of forgive me here on some of this, but it's kind of similar what he's talking about. But some telematics you plug into an OBD port or something like that, and the camera. Many of the camera systems generate the same information. If your driver hard brakes, if your driver is doing fast starts, or if there's an impact, it's going to send you an alert. It's going to give you reports on what is happening in your truck. So, I mean, that's great to get those reports, but if you're just letting them pile up, you might as well not have them.
Right.
You've got to look at those reports. And a lot of systems that camera or not that use the telematics, They do scorecards for your drivers to see who's doing the best. You know, some people are all about the competition, who's got the best driving score, how many times you pick up your cell phone, that kind of thing.
Well, we talked a little bit about this, that we'll use telematics for this conversation, but from the guy, say John Larrick in the live chat, friend of the show, great guy. John's got, say, one driver, and I'm sure he's probably laughing, but he's got that one driver who keeps going through trailer tires or tractor tires. And you have a talk, you're like, man, this is your third time in this week. We're spending a lot of money on this same tire, same spot. What are you doing? I don't know. It's nothing. I just drive the truck like I'm supposed to. I do everything right because I'm a professional. No, you can't be professional if we keep replacing the same part all the time. What are you doing? Well, this telematics gives you the ability to see, okay, I know why it's going out all the time. It's because he's doing this, right? He's taking corners going 80 when he should be doing 20.
Right.
So we're having to replace the same parts. And I don't know that drivers necessarily understand this, and I'm not saying that it's their responsibility, but it would be nice for drivers to understand. There's a really significant financial investment in this equipment. It's huge. You know, Darcy knows, I know, you know, we all know this stuff's not cheap. I mean, I've seen pictures of John Larrick's trucks. Those are some nice trucks that I'm sure cost a lot of money. And the important thing is nobody can do anything if these things aren't maintained, if they're not taken care of. So this, to me, is, I think what you're saying, is what I think I hear, is this is an opportunity to educate the driver, right? This is costing us money, guy. You won't have a job, and then I need you, I want you, so let's work together. Here's what you did, we saw it, here's the report, you can watch the video. Now we document it, and we're gonna put it in your driver file, right? Is this right, Darcy? Is this how it works? So then if we do it again, we can pull the file out, and that we talked about it once, we'll give you, now we're gonna do something different. So that's your telematics, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just something, another tool to help gauge, and your drivers can get alerts, you know, after their drive is over about their score for the, you know, how they drove. And it's important. I really believe that drivers should periodically view the video footage themselves of them driving, because, you know, we all think we're great drivers and we have no bad driving habits, but we do. And we don't know it until it is brought up in front of us and we see.
Well, it's like Jay and I never go back and watch our shows for a reason.
That is a great point, Renee.
I mean, sports, you know, we were talking earlier,
athletes
you know, football,
do it. Yep.
They rewatch the game and they look to see, what did I do good? What did I not do so good? That's the way you learn.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. Learning?
What? Oh, boy. Renee, did you go ahead, Jeff?
I want to say this before I forget. Okay, Danny B had a really good question, and I got to get to it. Okay, question is, here's a straight question. Is Progressive Commercial the only option for carriers with a pickup truck and a 4-car trailer?
Okay, they are a little bit tougher to insure. No doubt about that. But Mike, John, or Andrew at our office could explore the options to see if we do have another option for you. But they are a little bit tougher. Always have been.
One more reason to avoid the
answer.
Truck.
Yeah.
If you can. I always like the beer truck.
And that's not
beer truck?
That's not on the "it's easy to do this" videos, is it? I've never heard anybody say that.
Well, and that leads to a good question to Renee. I talk to these guys, they're like, Ty, my insurance just went up $1,000 this month for the next 12 months. Or I'm a new guy, call this person, get a quote, and call me back and let me know. $25,000 for your truck and trailer? Yep. I mean, are the rates still crazy?
So, well, Jay, my post that you shared, I mean, it showed, and I don't remember off the top of my head right now, the cost of of closing claims
Oh.
continues to go up. The lawsuits continue to go up.
Here we go. Let's go to that. Yeah, let's bring up that graphic because that was really good. By the way, I didn't do the last. Oh, yeah, here we go. And that is the contact information before we go. Now we're off the cuff. I said we would be. But I wanted to make sure. Here we go. We got the email address, rlow@hardingbrooks.com. And then Mike's, mpeplinski@hardingbrooks.com. And then the 315-214-5822. Are there human beings on the other end of that
There
phone
are
number?
real human beings
Human
on the end
beings?
of that.
Holy mackerel.
You will get a person.
315. I'm going to put it in the live chat. 315-214-5822. Insurance human beings?
Real live insurance human beings. They're awesome.
Wow. That is insane. It's 2023. Let's see here. Just to get to that slide, because it really is interesting. And I want to thank everybody that shared the show today and that's in the live chat and watching live and on demand. I really do appreciate everyone tuning in. I mean, CU Repossession, shout out to Andrew. Ty, we have friends we didn't even know about. Oh, Kevin?
Kevin.
See, we have new friends. I don't even have their names straight. We have so many new friends. Okay. Good job, Jay. So anyways, so there's the email address again. Here's an article. I shared this. Now, this was on a law firm. You know, law firms have some interesting data. And by the way, I just want to say this. Because I've thought of, you need a dream team. Whether it's business or personal, doctor, accountant, lawyer, insurance agent. Okay? You need that.
I agree with you.
You need that. All right. So now this was about fatal accidents and got into Larry questions. I'll just read it because it is interesting. 4,600 fatal accidents involving semi-truck drivers annually, which came out. Yeah.
Jay, I want to just kind of interject right here. So
Love it.
What happens, and kind of try to finish Ty's question, what happens is commercial auto is commercial auto. So it encompasses the big trucks, it encompasses the repo trucks, tow trucks, auto haulers, many other facets go under commercial auto. So, and then the rates are determined based on the way the whole commercial auto industry has performed. And the commercial auto industry has not had a profitable year since 2011, I believe is correct. So this 2020 or 2022, I think the combined loss ratio is going to be 101.1 or 2, which is pretty good. They're pretty happy about that, but they're still not making money. So that's why rates do keep going up. But they should kind of stabilize a little bit.
I want to say our friend Richard Bren also told us something like that. Because you wouldn't think that. But that's why. Because when you want to know why the rates keep going up. Is that one of the main reasons?
Is all commercial auto liability is in like this one bucket when the whole rate factor gets determined and then put on down. So,
which is another reason why, and this would explain why so many people have been upset with wedge trailers. Because if you're flipping your trailer, well, then the next guy has to pay for it.
Yep.
So, if we could please stop flipping trailers, it'd be really awesome. So anyways, those numbers, but I want to get to, okay, so this is what you shared on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And this is what you were talking. So do you want to expand on this? How do you see this?
It shows that in 2012, the average claim when it went before a jury, $2.6 million was paid out. This is for a big claim, of course, but that same claim that would have been 2.6 million is now, it's going to be over 17.5 because those numbers are from 2019. We all see the billboards for, attorneys advertising, even in the repo world. I mean, there's signs. Did your car get repo? Call me. Let me help you. All the time. I was traveling to Ohio a couple of weeks ago and there were all these signs that said, were you hit by a big truck? Call me. Let me help. I mean, so we live in a world that goes straight to sue and has a real entitlement mentality. We won't, there's people out there that want something from nothing, and we're the ones that have to pay for it. So, and those are the facts. Those are the numbers that show that.
Well, that brings it back home to why cameras are, and you did a really good job of explaining about exposure and time, and yeah, I mean, you may not want to hand over footage of your driver doing something crazy, but it's better now than in a year.
Because it's going to be discoverable.
Yeah, it's going to be discoverable.
Yeah, I mean, and well as soon as an adjuster needs to know up front what they're dealing with so they can handle that claim quickly and efficiently. And if you're not at fault, then they can shut it down and get your truck paid for from the other insurance company.
Well, and that happened to us a few years ago. We had an elderly lady pull out in front of one of our trucks. He couldn't stop. He was fully loaded with 2 cars, and he hit her. And unfortunately, she did not survive. But our cameras inside the cab, outside the cab, our GPS, all the speed, everything in it mitigated the entire. Like, they did not sue us. They paid for our truck because she ran the red light, pulled in front of him, and so that was worth all the money we spent in the GPS, in the cameras, in all of that. And the one thing our driver did wrong, he didn't have his seatbelt on. So other than that, we were able to determine he did everything right. So it was worth it.
Wow, no cameras, no witnesses, no evidence. That would have gone a totally different way.
It would have definitely gone a different way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a crazy story.
That's a sobering story.
Yeah.
It was scary.
That is.
Yeah,
that'd be freaky.
Well, I know. I've been there. I got stories like that too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Not good.
Yeah, that's wild. Let's do this. Is there anything else? I think, we talked about the dash cams. That was Tuesday night's show. Listen, I just want to say thank you, Darcy, for talking about that. That really was an informative show. If you missed it, here's the live link. I'm going to share that Nexar dash cams show link. And there it is in the live chat. Also, Richard, we love instant replay in sports. Why not in our industry? Great comment. And, Dave Branch, is there a scenario where the repossession agency owner can reduce insurance costs from good driving periods, extra training for driver agents, special endorsements, etc., something to reduce premiums?
So all of those things do have a direct impact on your premium, but it starts out at this one rate, but everybody's rated on their own merit. So it depends on your loss exposure. You keep your losses down, your premiums will be down. Everything comes into play.
All right. So keep up the good work, Dave. All right. So let's see what else we got here. See, it's all about the transition. See, this was the Nexar One camera that was featured on Tuesday night. And there were owner-operator pricing options, which was pretty cool too, as well as the fleet dashboard. Wow. When you saw the video for this, Ty, you remember thinking, whoa, like all the clips and it's like you could make your own movie with your drivers and your dash cams and it was wild. It was really wild stuff. So pretty amazing. And if you have any questions, comments, you can send us an email. If you just want to remain anonymous, send it to autotransportintel@gmail.com. Got the podcast. ATI Auto Business is the name of our channel. You can always call or text Ty, 417-483-2764. And of course, Tuesday night. We have a great show coming up Tuesday night because that's leading into NADA, which is coming up in a couple weeks. I wanted to, again, touch upon what's the best way to contact Renee? Starting with you, what's the best way to contact? Is it call? Is it email?
So either they can email my email address, rlow@hardingbrooks.com, or they can call me at that 315 number and they can transfer the call to me. Either way, or they can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Arlo, and I'm getting that stuff here. Arlo at hardingbrooks.com. Got the phone number. And then, hey, Darcy, what is the best way? Let's say somebody wants to find out more about Indiana Recovery Services. What can somebody do?
Well, they can go to our website at
Let's see, and I think I found it. It's indianarecoveryservices.com, right?
Yeah. Yep. And or they can email. Our email is really, really long. I created them when we first started the business. It was not smart on my part because it's a lot of typing.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. It's dcase at Indiana Recovery Services with an S.net.
Man, Jay is a pretty fast typer. dcase at indianarecoveryservices.net.
Yep.
Bang. It's already in the live chat. And what else? Now we are now landing the plane, which is always a little bit awkward. Return your trables to the. Okay. So, what final thoughts? What else is there to know, do, or say to make sure that we've covered everything? We got it.
I am. If anybody's got questions about anything, they can, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay. Darcy, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just thinking that, for a long time, repossessors, stuck with their core duties of repossessing a vehicle. And it's time to think outside the box, because ultimately, when you pick up a vehicle, all the liability always filters back to you. So if you can find ways to be the only person who touches it, you're not always having to prove that you didn't do the damage. We now even have a new timestamp app that we learned from another repossession company, where when our drivers drop at an auction, they are timestamping it with photos, so we can prove that when we dropped it, it wasn't damaged. So, it's an ever evolving thing. Always try new ways to make sure. Do our drivers like it? Probably not. It's just another app they have to use. But in the long run, it saves us time. And it protects us. So I do think that, you have to keep evolving with the times and find new ways for revenue and to make your business work better, and have a good insurance company.
Yeah. Harding Brooks.
Yep.
And I just want to say, really good point about, there is this thing that too many apps. Well, there are too many apps. It's 2023, the year of too many apps. So it's just something we all have to get used to. It's not fun, but maybe in spare time, learn another app.
Yeah.
Put
them all together.
Right? Exactly. So that was really good stuff. I really enjoyed today's conversation. And so that's pretty much a wrap. This will be available on demand. And then I'll put some time codes in the video description, and if there's anything else to share, we'll make sure that goes in the description too. But thank you both so much. Again, going back to Used Car Week, November 2022. So 2 months ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
We met each other 2 months ago. You're here now. We're making great content. I really look forward to what it is we can do next. I agree. Break out of your vertical. I say it all the time. If you want to grow your business, break out of your vertical. Be the first one to do it. Do something nobody's doing.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. All right.
Darcy, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Renee, you as well.
You too.
Thank you
nice
for
to meet
having
you.
me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
See
both
you guys
so
again
very
soon.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Happy
Bye,
Friday.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, cool. I'm going to
There you
end
go.
the meeting, and here we go, and that's a cut. Okay, so I just ended it. Really was, that was a cool show. And insurance is so fundamental, really, to any business. And thank you for that question earlier, Danny B, because it's a really good point. Being a wedge trailer owner-operator isn't the easiest thing to pull off. And shout out to Kevin. There he is. Kevin Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen. CURepossession.com. Kevin, thanks for sharing the show and posting it. And we're ATI Auto Business. We are reaching across the aisles. You'll notice that there was a lot of repo and recovery on today's auto transport channel show, and we're doing that. We talk to dealers and auctions, repo recovery, technology companies, insurance, equipment. We get into legal stuff when we need to, and there's just so much more. So thank you for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Really do appreciate it. It's ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay. I'm your host. And please do join us Tuesday night for NADA Energy. That's the next big trade show coming up. We're huge fans of trade shows because, as you just saw, if we hadn't been at Used Car Week, we wouldn't have met Renee and Darcy, and today's show would not have happened. That's how it works. So please let me know how we can help. Send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.